In 1988, the NCAA Final Four is celebrating its 50th anniversary. Don't miss this chance to get your own 50th anniversary corduroy cap, t-shirt, or commemorative 24-karat gold-plated coin, each just $10.95, or all three for $27.95. Every order will also receive free the 1988 NCAA official Final Four gift catalog. Credit card orders only. Call now, 1-800-225-3030.
A radio station on the telephone. Dial it 1976-6656, 1976-MOJO. The 24-hour dial-it radio station where you hear the hot new stars of 88 first. You can hear them now. Hits before they hit the radio. A daring attempt to rescue music from the blocks.
All violence to your fighters.
The officials for today's ball game: Dick Paparo, the gentleman on the left, is the referee. He's out of the Atlantic Coast Conference, and Wally Tanner and Bob Barnett. And we are set to tip this one off here in Lincoln, Nebraska. First session, 4 games scheduled today here in Cornhusker country. Ball is up. Smith gets the tip, and it will go to Pittsburgh. Eastern Michigan will come out in a man-to-man defense. Series even at 1 apiece. Sean Miller, a lot of conversation as a whistle inside in the first foul of the afternoon. But a gentleman that Eastern Michigan cannot afford to get in foul trouble, Grant Long, has picked up the first one of the afternoon.
Well, Grant was doing a very good job, I thought, inside. What I really was pleased to see from Eastern Michigan's point of view, they're in on Smith, making sure that Pittsburgh shoots the ball from the outside, and I think that's a good tack to take.
Sean Miller handling. A lot of freshmen involved with these two teams as Lane hits the turnaround jumper for the first 2 of the afternoon.
I think that's a mismatch. They got Isaac Henderson trying to guard Jerome Lane. I don't think there's any way that's possible.
Eastern on offense for the first time this afternoon. Susi cans a three-pointer from the outside for his first hit of the afternoon.
You know, he's got an awkward-looking shot that makes people think that he can't make that. He obviously can, but what that really does is open up inside play for Grant Long.
Well, this answers the question we asked Ben Braun yesterday. Will you try to pressure? Light pressure for the inbounds pass as far as Eastern Michigan is concerned, but then they drop off that, but they stay in the man. He said you'll see a variance in defenses. It depends on what we do as far as staying out of trouble foul-wise. Travel on the play. Eastern will come back with the basketball. Ben, we got to tell the people what happened as the two teams came out here this afternoon. On the giant electronic scoreboard, they had Pittsburgh versus Michigan. And the Eastern Michigan fans from Ypsilanti were up immediately, and they were hollering, "That's Eastern Michigan."
Yeah, they weren't going for it at all. You see Brad Sorsky shoot another 3-point there.
Susi with 6 points in the ball game. There you see it. Now they put the E out front. But the Hurons wanted it to be known.
Now, you got a lot of freshmen playing in this game, and I think this is a good choice on Coach Ben Braun's part, because you need to expose these guys to a chance to make turnovers, and that's what they've been doing. As you see right there, they got the ball down to Jerome Lane to get it in the basket, but you need to expose these kids to turnover. They've never been in this situation before. I don't care if it's the Big East, the MAC, or anything.
On the baseline, it's going to be turnover Eastern Michigan as Grant Long drove down the baseline.
You see right here, Grant Long gets Charles Smith in the air, but his left foot, the official called it out of bounds. I'm not an official, but he said he was out of bounds, so I'll go with it. Didn't look like he was out of bounds to me.
Now across the way, Dick Paparo and his crew conferring with the official scorekeeper. A score 6-4, and actually it is Susi 6 and Lane 4 because they're the only two that have contributed in the early going to this one. Now the discussion is over. Something dealing with the clock and the inbounds pass. Charles Smith comes over to Gore, who dribbles it off the back of his ankle. That's one of the things that makes Pittsburgh very tough, Clint, as far as when you try to pressure them. That big men are good ball handlers, particularly Smith. And you anchor him in the middle and get the ball to him.
It does make them a tough team to go against, but Demetrius Gore can handle the ball very well. If you see Lorenzo Neely get a hand on that when he knocked it out of bounds, but they can handle the ball extremely well. Even though you put pressure on them, try to make them waste time, but you're not going to take it from them very often.
Paul Evans said in the news conference yesterday, for those of you who want to think that we're taking Eastern Michigan lightly, I got another thought from you. I've been in this position before. Smith with his first 2 of the afternoon. He averages 18.4. Quickly down the floor, Howard Chambers.
Well, I tell you what, they really pushed the ball up, and Chambers did a good job shooting that one off the glass.
Eastern Michigan with a 2-point lead in the early going of this one. Good crowd on hand for this opening game in this really fine arena used by the University of Nebraska. When we need to talk about later on this floor, the fact that it has a give factor. It's built on like egg crates or an egg crate design.
Yeah, for people to jump high like me, that helps.
Inside, Gore with the left-hander, can't get it to go down. Battle on the floor and on the baseline as Lorenzo Neely doing a good job of scrapping for the basketball again, but he lost the handle, and it will go back to Pittsburgh.
But what's really happening here is, yes, Pittsburgh is getting the rebounds, and I know Coach Braun doesn't want him to get second shot opportunities, but I don't know if Pittsburgh has played against 2 quicker guards than both Chambers and Neely. They get around you when you got the basketball, and you got to protect it or they'll take it from you.
Porter gets a break. He goes out of the ball game. Bailey checks in. Lane Bailey, a sophomore out of Weymouth, Massachusetts. Miss inside, battle for the boards, and that is the thing that Eastern Michigan was so concerned about as Smith picks up his 4th point of the afternoon. As Coach Braun said, 1 shot, but we got to deny him seconds and thirds. Well, you could see in that exchange right there, that's going to be tough to do physically.
Well, the play was made by Jerome Lane. He stayed active on the basketball, and Grant Long had it and just got it knocked out by Lane, who knocked it to Smith for the dunk.
Big collision in the middle, and a hold is going to be called on Sean Miller. Sean, the freshman player of the year of the Big East.
See Sean Miller playing defense and he runs into the pick, and then he just pushes Isaac Henderson, and the officials call him for holding. That might have been a little bit of incidental contact, but what the heck, we got a foul anyway.
It's also the first team foul. Quinn, do officials... Susie again can't get this one to go. Shows he's human. He's now 2 of 3. Smith now with the rebound. Do officials call it closer, or do they let you play more in NCAA tournaments?
Well, I think officials to go to take the posture. You got to win this. This is not something that we're going to take from you. You go out and play as hard as you can, and typically the most aggressive team wins in these kind of contests.
Smith hits the jumper from 18 feet. And the foul called inside against Charles Smith. No, Gore is going to be charged with the violation, his first, team second. 10-8, Pittsburgh moving on top. Long with a nice move in the middle. Gore will be guilty of the violation.
I'll tell you what, this young man, Grant Long, has a lot of offensive moves, because had not Demetrius Gore come over there to help out, there was no way Charles Smith could have done anything with him. You see right here, Grant Long taking the ball to the basket. He looks to his right, comes back, and you see Charles Smith is basically out of the picture, but Demetrius Gore fouls him. Taking it right to the middle, just as you do. Attack the defense. Now he'll look right, and now Charles Smith is lost. And there's no way he could have stopped Grant Long from getting that shot. That was a great move. And it enabled him to get a foul call against Demetrius Gore, who had to come and help out.
Long hits his first point of the afternoon, 76% free throw shooter. Lane was that first foul a moment ago, and then Gore just now. So 1 apiece on them. You finally get a clarification. Gets the second one to go down.
If I'm Coach Evans, one of the things I'd have to be concerned about is who's ever playing Grant Long is going to be exposed to fouls, and what do I do to try to keep him from that? As you see, Demetrius Gore missed the layup.
Goes coast to coast. Lane, and that's going to be an over and back violation. And what he is saying is that the ball was actually touched by Eastern, which should have nullified the over and back violation. Let's take a look at it.
Well, what clarifies it is whether or not off the rebound, as you see Demetrius Gore go to the basket here, and he just misses it. And he took his eye off the basket. Goes here. Now, Jerome Lane has to have control of the basketball in order for it to be called over and back against Pittsburgh. The officials thought that he did have it, and they called it.
Grant Long showing why he is all everything in the Mid-American Conference this year, the player of the year, averaging 23.2 per ball game, and the Hurons come up with the steal. They're up by 2 and make it 4. Howard Chambers with his 4th point of the afternoon. What was it Paul Evans said at the news conference yesterday? He said, some of the times you guys don't want to listen to what I'm saying, as it's stolen again, and he stepped stepped out of bounds.
That's a good call by the official.
Paul Evans said, I know you guys don't want to listen to me, but said this is the kind of ball club that gives us absolute fits. He said they're quick, they may be undersized, but you can see what has happened.
Well, absolutely. When you got the height that Pittsburgh has, they have to be concerned about shorter people because of the quickness. I think Ben Braun in Eastern Michigan has done a good job getting his team out, be aggressive defensively, and make Pittsburgh, expose them to something they haven't seen in a while, a quick front court, a quick back court.
Porter has checked back into the ball. Yeah, it is out of bounds, and it's going to be off Eastern. Susie with a super job going parallel to the floor to try to save that one. But right now, there's a timeout on the floor. 14 minutes, 57 seconds left in this opening half with our score. 14-10, Eastern Michigan on top.
You got a fire going? No, why? Oh, Ed, I hate to say it, but your old furnace is keeping the birds warm. It's what? A lot of your heat's going right up your chimney. You know, one of those high-efficiency gas furnaces would keep a lot more of that heat in your house, so you'd use less gas. You mean I wouldn't waste all that heat on the birds? Oh, why should you? They're not paying rent.
A high-efficiency gas furnace can help you save money. Mishcon wants you to know because helping's our job.
Where is the future of America shopping for Easter?
Zoom!
Where can you get boys' designer suits in sizes 4 through 20, including slims, stouts, and huskies, as low as $69.90?
Zoom!
Where can you get 100% silk shirts by St. Peel?
Zoom!
Look great in the fashions of the future. Go to Zoom at Northland and the Zoom departments at Man O' Man in Northland and Central Park in Fairlane. Zoom. It's where the future of America shops for Easter.
Think country music and you'll think of Lucille's, one of the hottest country and western saloons around. Lucille's has it all, from daily lunches and beer and drink specials to a large dance floor perfect for kicking up your heels to live entertainment, featuring a top country and western band. And don't forget Ladies' Night every Wednesday. So don't be shy. Come join the fun at Lucille's on Michigan Avenue, 1 mile west of I-275. Call 397-1988. The fun is waiting for you at Lucille's.
Women's basketball on television. If your answer is yes, dial 900-260-2221. If your answer is no, it is 900-260-2222. We'll give you those numbers again a little bit later on as Smith has picked up his 8th point of the afternoon. Shot inside, air ball taken down by Pitt. On 5 Pitt turnovers, 9 Eastern Michigan points in the first 5.5 minutes of this one. 14-12. The Hurons on top. Quinn, you were making a good point to me during the timeout of what I had said about Paul Evans and the fact that he said, if you think that we're going to take these guys lightly, you were wrong because this kind of team gives us trouble. Explain more why, what he's leaning for.
Well, because they're smaller, what they do is they just tire out these big guys who have to chase them down the court, and that's what Paul Evans is concerned about. Once they get run up and down the court, that's not their kind of game. Now, Brad Solstein keeps making his shot. They got to come out and guard him. The defensive pressure is going to be increased when you make those baskets, and it keeps the game to a tempo I think is more beneficial to Eastern Michigan.
Susie with his 3rd three-pointer. Sean Miller drives the middle, can't get it to go down, and as Long comes down with a rebound, a foul inside on Nate Bailey. He's first, and that'll be the 4th team foul against the Panthers.
I know you get a lot of emotion going in here, but one thing I think Eastern Michigan has to be concerned about, they get up and running up and down the court. Do they get tired? You know, particularly people like Grant Long, because when he gets tired, he gets in foul trouble. So you have to be concerned about that.
Bobby Martin, a freshman out of Atlantic City, New Jersey, checks in. Nate Bailey will go over and take a breather. 13 minutes, 45 seconds left to play in this opening half. And it's Eastern Michigan on offense, and they have a 5-point squeeze right now. Susie again off the front iron. That one won't go. Sean Miller, a lot of questions to him this week about being a freshman. And Charles Smith spoke up and said he's no longer a freshman, not after a Big East Conference season and a Big East tournament. Eastern Michigan allowing only one shot that time by Pittsburgh, which is exactly what Ben Braun said they had to do. And Miller picks his pocket. Nice pass.
Great play. Great play. It's a great defensive play by Sean Miller to start that fast break. You know, they talk about him being a freshman. This is new to him, but he's a very good basketball player. Took it to the basket, saw help come, and dished it off. They get 2 points.
Back to a 2-point ball game. So Michigan Eastern Michigan got the rebound, came down the floor, had the turnover, and the battle for the rebound. It's going to be jump ball in the air, shows Eastern Michigan.
The height advantage that Charles Smith has on Grant Long is causing him some problems. And he's going to have to make a decision whether or not he's going to take that jump shot or put the ball on the ground one extra time and take it to the basket. He does two things. He exposes Charles Smith to a foul, but he also makes Charles back off of him to figure out what he's going to do.
Carl Thomas, a brother of a twin act here on this Eastern Michigan team. 17-14, three-point ball game. Carl is a freshman out of Lansing, Michigan. Brian Nolan, a sophomore out of Muskegon, Michigan, also was checked in. Inbounds pass. Porter takes it all the way down. Can't get it to go. It's going to be off Martin. It will go with Eastern Michigan.
Well, Eastern Michigan dodged the bullet there because that's something that you just don't want to have. You got somebody coming in right here, as you see, going to the basket. Darrell Porter takes it, and Martin just tries to tip it, and he just knocks it off his arm. He just got a little anxious trying to tip Duncan instead of getting control of it and then making it.
Jumper from the sideline. Carl Thomas can't get it to go. Goheen is also into the ball game. Number 13. He's a senior out of Centerville, Ohio. Porter hits on the jumper from the outside, and once again, it's a one-point ball game.
But I tell you what, that's a boost for Pittsburgh because he's not typically known as a scorer. Great defense right there. Pat Cavanaugh does a good job right there. I mean, Goheen is going to come out of the game, I'm sure, because the one thing you can't have is anybody coming off the bench and turning the ball over. And he's turned it over twice on the inbounds, and he lost it right there for that basket.
Cavanaugh in the ball game. Give a breather. Comes up with the steal and the 2 points. Ball is knocked back to Chambers. Nice bounce pass inside, and Smith with a rejection. Cavanaugh back to Porter. Lane with the slam dunk.
Yeah, they got it pushed up there pretty good at that time, and Jerome Lane was lucky. He got away with what should have been a technical foul for grabbing the rim. I'm sure next time he does it, it'll be called. But that was a good defensive play to start that by Charles Smith.
6 unanswered points by Pittsburgh. Off lane. That will stay with the Hurons. Take a look at what you were talking about.
Great block there by Charles Smith. Gets the ball. Pat Cavanaugh gets it, pushes it up, throws it down there, and Darrell Porter makes a pass. But right here, you got to let go of the rim. There's no need for Jerome Lane to do that. Again, you see him coming in. He's got it. Once you get it through the rim, just let it go. There's no read for him to hold that.
I think the only discretion that the officials will use is the fact that you're about to come down on somebody to prevent injury, right?
Yes, and at that particular instance, there was nobody there to cause that problem. As we see, Pittsburgh has come out and gone into a 2-3 zone.
Goheen back to Neely. Bounce into the middle. Anderson loses the handle for a moment. They come back outside. Goheen with the three-pointer. He's got it.
Yeah, you got to stick that one. He was standing over there for a couple seconds. Paul Evans decided to go to 2-3. If you make that a couple times, he'll come out of that zone.
Well, that's 12 of the 20 points by Eastern Michigan that have come off three-pointers.
Well, you know, we talked about it at the top of the show. Goheen shoots it, Sorsey shoots it, as well as they have the kid Neely. A lot of them shoot the basketball as well from there.
Smith from 16 misses it. That's Henderson on the rebound. Neely with good pressure from Cavanaugh. Going to take it all the way to the hole. They miss on the tip, but it's going to come back to Eastern Michigan. Long offside.
Great play.
Isaac Henderson gets the 2.
That was just a great play. I mean, there was some passes thrown extremely crisp. I thought Grant Long did a good job of catching it. Great play.
One of the things that Coach Evans also said about the All-American, long as you watch the steal, gets the pass ahead, and an easy 2 for Lorenzo Neely. So the ebb and flow of this one, 6 unanswered a moment ago by Pittsburgh, and now Eastern Michigan has come back. But one of the points that the coach for Pittsburgh made, he said, Long is an All-American in a couple of ways in my book. He not only does everything well on the floor, he is a very unselfish player. And you try to double down on him, and he'll dish it off to somebody. We saw a great example of it just a moment ago.
Yeah, you really did. And he does a good job of getting the ball back and forth to people. He got called for that particular foul. But what he does is he'll throw it out for 2 reasons. One, he knows if he throws it out there, those guys will make the shot, which gives him better position. The other, big people throw it out there because they know they're going to get it back, and he has been getting it back.
9 minutes, 32 seconds left to play until halftime. There's a timeout on the court with our score, 24-20, Eastern Michigan.
A radio station on the telephone. Dial it, 1976-6656, 1976-MOJO. The 24-hour Dallas radio station where you hear the hot new stars of 88 first. You can hear them now. Hits before they hit the radio. A daring attempt to rescue music from the blast.
All pilots to your fighters.
Hello, I'm Shawn Robinson. This Sunday on Strictly Speaking, we will talk with concerned relatives of those buried in Gethsemane Cemetery. They say they are very concerned about the airport expansion, and they will tell us what they plan to do to fight it. That's this Sunday at 12 noon. Watch us.
Clothes make the man, and the ultimate men's store is the Broadway, the Broadway.
The exciting European look of spring and summer, now at the Broadway, the ultimate men's store.
The Broadway.
Presented by the authority of the NCAA. Any use of this program without written consent is prohibited. The announcers for this program have been approved and contracted by NCAA Productions. Well, Quinn, you look at that percentage right there. Eastern Michigan, actually 12 of their points are off 5 turnovers, and Pitt has scored 4 points off 6 turnovers. And that has not been because of a bad job necessarily of taking care of the basketball. It's been good pressure defense, full court.
It's been some good athletic ability. You know, there's a lot of great athletes on that court, and I think Eastern Michigan has quicker athletes. If you talk about jumping, I think you have to look at Pittsburgh for the bigger athletes in their jumping ability.
Jason Matthews, a freshman out of Los Angeles, California, 6'3", 180 with his first 2 of the afternoon. Long misses the jumper, Lane inside. Skies for the rebound for the Panthers. Well, we've had streaks. First of all, Eastern, then Pittsburgh, then Eastern back, and then Pittsburgh. Smith with the air ball. Anderson down with the rebound.
There it goes. 2-point play, yeah. That's a good call. Right there, Lorenzo Neely did a good job. He took the ball to the basket and got Sean Miller exposed to a foul. Now, Sean Miller being a freshman is one thing, but the more important thing is that he's their lead point guard, and as a freshman, that was just a bad move as a freshman. You see coming right here, Lorenzo Neely takes it to him, and there's nothing that Sean can do but try to grab him because he got faked out so badly. And Coach Evans has decided to take him out because he's got 2 fouls, and there's still 8 minutes to go in the game, and he can't afford to get his third.
Paul Evans expressing to him what he didn't want to happen on that second foul because we still have 8:40 left until halftime. Neely with his first trip from the line, 75% free throw shooting.
And a very clever ball handler. One of the things that you may or may not know out there is this young man played with Derek Coleman in high school, which gives you some idea of the kind of high school team they had. He's a very good ball handler, finds open people, can make his jump shot, as well as shoot free throws well.
Neely with 4 points in the afternoon as Eastern Michigan is perfect from the line. They are 4 of 4, and they lead by that same number with 8:35 left until halftime. Look at Charles Smith in the open court.
Go up to 6'10", I want to tell you, he is some kind of athlete.
Tell you what, Quinn, as we watched him in the workouts yesterday, that's Gore, a strong move to the hoop.
What they called was basket interference as he started to go up. As we started to go up to the basket, Grant Long just tried to jump. Demetrius Gore takes it, and you can see right there, he slapped it on the backboard. Grant Long did, so that's an offensive goaltender.
So that's the first 2 of the afternoon by Gore. Ron Franklin along with Quinn Buckner from Lincoln, Nebraska. 28-24 our score as the Hurons of Eastern Michigan have given Pittsburgh everything they want and more in the first 12 minutes of this one.
And those are the second shot opportunities by Jerome Lane, the third leading rebound in the country. You know, so he's going to get a lot of offensive rebounds. You can't let him get him back in the basket if he does get them.
Foul away from the ball. They're pointing at Henderson. Isaac Henderson with his first foul of the afternoon. And the ball will go back over to the Panthers of Pittsburgh. Long down court. Smith, Gore, Lane, good. And
oh, yeah, that was trouble. It was a 3-on-1, and the 3 happened to be Gore, Smith, and Lane. So Gore had the choice of who you wanted to throw that to.
Brendan, it goes back to what we talked about at the top of the show, though. There may be as good a front court, but I'm not sure there's any that is any better than those 3 guys.
No, I don't think so. And I think we just got a 3rd foul on Grant Long, and if we did, that's going to be really big trouble for Eastern Michigan. You see, Demetrius Gore has a choice, and coming in with a lot of authority is Jerome Lane, putting it down. He didn't hold on to the basket that time, which I'm glad to see. Great pass.
Bounce pass, kicked out of bounds. We've got some glass around here that the sports information director brought us from Pittsburgh. Tied at 28 with 7 minutes and 20 seconds. Lane has it stripped. Susie, Neely, and he will take it all the way, and it's blocked.
It's a great block by Jerome Lane. Just a great block. Coming here, Lorenzo Neely goes to the basket, and as you see, Jerome Lane just comes to make a great block on it.
But when he comes a long way, watch him come all the way across the lane.
He'll come across the lane. That's good defense by Kavanaugh, which really makes Lorenzo switch hands and gives Jerome Lane a chance to block that shot.
Susie already has 3 3-pointers. He airballs that one and look at Gore out of the fast break. Takes it to the hoop, misses the finger roll, and that's the 3rd time this afternoon that Eastern Michigan has missed a wide open layup.
And you got Charles Smith back again. He won't miss this one. There's no way he's going to miss that one.
10 points for Charles Smith, and with great effect behind the back.
Well, you see right there, Charles Smith gets the ball, gathers himself and dunks it, and he's allowed to hang on to the rim on that one because he was afraid that Nolan was going to knock his feet under. You see, he gets the ball, he pump fakes, and Brian Nolan's out of position. He pushes him in the back. There's no question about the foul. And you see the strength of Jerome Lane to get it down there. That's what I was really amazed at. And this is the athletic ability again of Charles Smith.
Nolan trying to do everything he could, and he just simply couldn't stop him. Smith goes to the line trying to complete the 3-point play. 76% during the season at the strike. Knocks it down, and 11 points for him. So 10 for Lane and 11 for Charles Smith.
I like Paul Evans' point on the backboard piece of glass that we got. He said you guys, that the media was so interested in Jerome Lane breaking the backboard that they put Jerome Lane, on second-team All-American as opposed to Charles Smith.
Carl Thomas hits the jumper from the outside. Tied again at 31. Stolen inside. Lorenzo Neely with a 6th point of the afternoon. Boy, that backcourt is not very large, Chambers and Neely, but they will just stay all over you. Gore, his 4th point, and he's trying to catch up with his 2 teammates inside who are both already in double figures.
Well, the play was made by Jerome Lane, who made a great back bounce pass to get it into Demetrius Gore. I mean, this young man, Jerome Lane, is just a tremendous athlete.
Bobby Martin is going to check in. Lane is going to get a break. He had a good look just a moment ago of Ben Braun, the very youthful head coach at Eastern Michigan, only 34 years of age. Gore again pulls up from 8 feet, unlucky bounce, and the tip is missed. Chambers does a good job of getting the ball back away as it almost was stolen by Gore.
Good decision by Lorenzo Neely to bring it out, take your time. You take that shot, you can make it.
3-point attempt, battle inside, and that's going to be called against Brian Nolan.
I don't think you fought anybody like that. As a matter of fact, when I say anybody like that, I meant Brian Nolan. You see a great offensive effort. You know, he was going for the rebound. He just got called for a foul. It was a tough position to be in, but give the kid an effort for trying anyway.
David Klum is going to check into the ball game, as will Goheen. Howard Chambers will get a break. Goheen, number 13, out of Centerville, Ohio, just outside of Dayton.
Now, it's important for Darren Goheen to come back into the game and be settled down. He came in early and turned the ball over, and that's one of the reasons he got set down. So maybe he's gotten the jitters out. As you see right there, Pat Cavanaugh just throws the ball right by one of his players.
Boy, I'll tell you what. Pictures are worth a whole lot of words, and Paul Evans, if Stairs could kill, we would have had a homicide about 10 seconds ago. Three-point attempt on the way. Carl Thomas can't get it to go down. He's missed a couple out there. Cavanaugh. Pretty good bite. Here's Paul Evans. And going to make another substitution here is Lane is going to check back into the ball game.
They call that last foul on Lorenzo Neely, and I'll tell you what, it was not a bad foul because I don't know if the folks at home can see it. There was a 4-on-2 break, and had he not committed the foul right then, there was
easy two.
Yeah, Pittsburgh is going to get an easy basket right now. You got Pat Cavanaugh going for a 1-and-1.
Had a good look at Brad Susie, who has 3 3-pointers in the afternoon. He's 3 of 4 from out there. We're tied at 33 with 5 minutes and 17 seconds left until halftime. Cavanaugh, good rotation, good arc, and he knocks it down for his 3rd point. He's only a 52% free throw shooter, but he didn't look like it right there.
Well, he shot that one like he knew what he was doing. I'll tell you, the Eastern Michigan Hurons are coming here, and the one thing that I think we can say safely, they're not tight because they're taking these 3-pointers like they're free throws.
If anybody had any question about whether they would be in awe of playing the team that won the regular season in the Big East, I think that's been answered in this first 15 minutes of play, don't you, Quinn?
Oh, there's no question about it. They've come here to play. They're confident in their ability.
Foul away from the ball. They're pointing toward Charles Smith.
And that's just a bad foul by Charles. They're in a 2-3 zone. I don't know how you can get yourself in a position to foul somebody off the ball.
It's only his first. Charlie's pretty good about staying out of foul trouble. Inbounds pass, tipped by Cavanaugh, and Goheen actually screened him out so they could set it up, and the inbounds pass get a little better look at it.
Yeah, he did the smart thing. He just tried to position himself so Pat Cavanaugh couldn't save the ball, which it was a good effort by Cavanaugh just to get the ball knocked loose.
Cavanaugh doesn't mind getting down and getting after it. You can look at his knees and tell that, Quinn.
Yeah, he's been on the floor a couple times.
Susie, left baseline, count it. 12 points for him. All have come from outside that 19-9 marker. And Eastern Michigan goes back on top.
I just watched. They got Jerome Lane guarding him, and Brad Susie is running off picks all kind of ways, so that's got to be tiring Jerome Lane out.
Lane lobs it into the middle. Good Smith. Yeah, Smith gets right back out to Cavanaugh. Now he takes the shot at the free throw line, gets an unlucky bounce, and here come the Hurons again. Eastern Michigan has won 17 of their last 19 ball games. Ball is knocked away. Eastern wanted a foul called on it, and it's Matthews who takes it strong to the hoop. They're going to call it good, and a foul called on Susie.
No, I think they changed it. Or did they? You see right here, Lorenzo Neely tries to take the ball in the basket, and Jason Matthews does a great job getting the ball, knocks it free, and then he pushes it up the court as he should, keeping his head up. He gets the ball to Cavanaugh, who throws it back to Jason Matthews, and the official called an offensive foul and a basket. And I got something to say after you see the great defensive play again by Matthews.
Well, from that angle right there, it did appear that he got all basketball. I thought he got his arm too, Quinn, but undoubtedly he didn't.
It's a great play. He takes it to the basket. I got a real problem with this call. I don't know how you, on the one hand, can make an offensive foul call, but by the same token, give him the basket. I think you got to make it decisive. It's either one or the other.
Susie with his 13th point of the afternoon. I agree with you 100% because I've always felt like, how in the world can you defend somebody standing directly under the hoop?
Yeah, it's something that I think the rules committee are going to have to look at pretty hard.
Susie gets them both. That's 14 points for him. He's the leading point getter for the Hurons as they're up in this one by 1 point. There's a timeout on the floor with 4:05 left to play until halftime. It's Eastern Michigan 38 and Pittsburgh 37.
Coming out to morning, people. We're up with the sun, moving and shaking. Breakfast is hot, and we are rolling. It's a good time.
Evening time with the night owl. Hey, night people, are you hanging out or stepping out? Hungry for dinner or ready to party?
I got a feeling this morning's gonna make your day.
Looks like it's gonna be a night to remember.
And now
a word from our sponsor.
It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's.
Hi, this is George Cannon asking you to join me right here on WGPR Channel 62 every Saturday at 12 o'clock noon for the Superstars of Wrestling. You will see such superstars as Ric Flair, the Road Warriors, Dusty Rhodes, Barry Windham, Mike Rotunda, Koloff, Garvin, Precious, many, many superstars of wrestling right here every Saturday, 12 o'clock noon on WGPR Channel 62.
City Slicker, City Slicker shoes, City Slicker shoes. They're not like all the rest, they're step above the best. City Slicker, City Slicker.
The new shapes, designs, and Detroit's largest selection of exotic skin shoes featuring Moray of Italy are exclusively at City Slicker Shoes, downtown Detroit, and at Jack's Place, Northland.
City Slicker shoes, City Slicker shoes.
On the big scoreboard here at Lincoln, Quinn, I think the computer has just been angry as far as printing the names. First off this afternoon, the crowd kept chanting, it's Eastern Michigan, not Michigan. And now they've taken Pittsburgh down, and they have put up their Pitt. For some reason, they didn't want to hold Pittsburgh. Tipped in the middle, battle on the floor, and Eastern comes up with a steal. David Plum is the man who made the steal. Susie with a three-pointer on the way. Not there in a battle inside, and Henderson has been whistled for the violation. I'm going to say that he was pushing into the lane. into the lane.
You see right here, Brad Susie takes the shot, and if you look underneath, he pushes him right there. Now the official makes the call on the second contact, but there's no question Isaac Henderson pushed him the first time.
Gore back into the ball game, so it's going to be Gore, Lane, Matthews, Smith, and Miller. Good look at the youngster out of Akron, Ohio. Short air ball. I'll tell you what, he touched nothing on that one.
Yeah, I could see that leave his hand.
He's still standing at the line.
You see right here, Jerome Lane takes the foul. You can see there's no chance he's going to make it. He's trying to stretch to get it into the basket, and there's no way.
And that's the first free throw of the afternoon by Pittsburgh. But boy, that's embarrassing, I can promise you. Susie, his fourth three-pointer of the afternoon. Yeah, Lane just wanted to dig a hole right there at the free throw line.
I'm not proud to say that, but I've been in that position before.
They trapped on Lane, now inside. Smith with a turnaround that's partially blocked. On the floor, Susie comes up with it. Smith gets the steal, and on the Richter scale, will get a number.
But it's an intentional foul, I believe, because Brian Nolan got frustrated, and he just pushed Charles Smith. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's an intentional foul. I mean, a great effort. You see right there, a good block by Nolan. And then they fight for the basketball. Sorcy and he fights for the basketball. Charles Smith comes with it. And as you can see, Brian just pushed him with two hands. He becomes so frustrated with it. Again, Charles Smith comes up with the basketball, and he just gets pushed. And he's strong enough that he can still get it in the basket. So that's a good call by the official.
Smith can't get that one to go down. Well, don't have to tell you, Ben Braun is livid over the intentional foul call. And I think the reason for his frustration is Smith knocks that second one down, Quinn. 14 points for Smith, is that he thought that Susie had been fouled on the turnover inside. As he kept talking about, he kept grabbing his wrist over there.
Yeah, I think there's some legitimacy.
Validity to that point also.
Yeah. I would say without a doubt, there's a little more than just some.
So on the intentional foul, Pittsburgh gets it back, and that's the freshman, Mr. Miller, outside. Freshman player of the year in the Big East, three-pointer on the way, he's got it. Sean Miller, first time that he gets in the books this afternoon with a three-pointer, and it puts the Panthers up by 2 with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left until halftime. Unintentional, but Neely caught Miller with an elbow just now across the face.
what happened right there, that was the speed, excuse me, of Howard Chambers just going to the basket, and there's no way that Darrell Porter could really stop him, so he just fouled it. I mean, you know, you got these little guards out here. I remember playing people like that. That just used to drive me up a wall because they're so quick. They can stop on a dime. They can shoot the jump shot. And Eastern Michigan has 3 players that really can do that.
Coach Evans is letting his ball club know what he feels about their play. And here's the situation. As that free throw goes down for Howard Chambers, 5 points for him. Eastern hasn't missed from the line this afternoon. They're 6 of 6. And according to my numbers, Pittsburgh's only 1 of 3 at the free throw line today. And right now, it is a 1-point, still a 1-point ball game. As Chambers with the first miss of the afternoon. Always happens when you talk about it. Yeah, doesn't it quick?
It sure does. We got Hugh Smith in the game trying to guard Jerome Lane down on the block now.
Porter with the basketball, comes back to Matthews just inside the 3-point line. Jason Matthews now with 6.
That's a welcome sign, I'm sure, for Coach Evans, because there was some concern about the inconsistencies in the shooting touch of Jason Matthews. He makes that shot, he opens it up for Lane as well as Smith.
3-pointer, air ball. Matthews was right there in his face, and Howard Chambers didn't touch anything. Freshman Carl Thomas, one of the twins, coming into the ball game. Freshman out of Lansing, Michigan. Now full court pressure. And again, you see they come directly to Smith, then to Lane. And Lane is going to take it all the way to the hoop. That is Klum, who gets knocked down.
But there you got a chance to see what can happen with the athletic ability of somebody like Jerome Lane. I mean, he took the ball to the basket with such authority. You see the pass from Charles Smith, and you see crossover. This is left-handed. He goes here, moves it over, does a great job, good touch. Has the opportunity for a 3-point play, and he's excited about it, as you can tell.
Jerome Lane now with 12 points. Tries to complete it, and he does. 13 for him. He's 1 of 2 from the line this afternoon. We've just gone under 2 minutes to play in this one, and this is the largest lead of the afternoon for either ball club.
Now, it's important for Eastern Michigan to try to get score here, because they don't need to go down in double digits. Go into halftime being down double digits. They need to stay down 8 or so. Right there, Sean Miller gets called for his 3rd foul.
Sean Miller called for the violation. And you talk about things that happen going in at halftime that are big as far as momentum. That is certainly a negative as far as the Panthers are concerned.
Yeah, it really is. But again, these little guards are very difficult to contain, and Neely knows there's no way that Sean Miller could guard him, as well as Kavanaugh. Now, Darrell Porter is a different story.
I'm not so sure, though, that Kavanaugh is not more physical as far as doing a job defensively than Miller is.
Well, he probably is, and he's a little older, and he knows that you can push him off, as you see Pat there in your picture. He's a little more aggressive, and he can get away with a little bit more just because he knows the nuances of the game. I mean, I don't care how you look at it. Being a freshman or being new in any situation is difficult. And Sean Miller has never played in this situation before.
You see, he wears the same moniker in his conference that does Sean Miller, being the freshman player of the year in the conference.
You know, but what may be the difference is Lorenzo Neely came up in Detroit. And, you know, you play against some pretty good competition in Detroit. I'm sure that Sean Miller played against some good, but I don't know if he played against as good a competition.
Matthews along the baseline. That's 8 points for him. And it's a 6-point bulge again as we've gone under a minute and a half and count a 3-pointer. Lorenzo Neely.
Good ball handling by Pat Kavanaugh.
Pass inside. That is stolen. Neely.
We'll just get it in. I didn't think we were going to see any outstanding dunk or anything, but I think that
wondered if he played it safe. And all of a sudden, it is back to a 2-point ball game with 50 seconds left until halftime. Lane takes off without the basketball, gets it back to Smith, and he cams the jumper.
Boy, they really got lucky there. But I want to tell you, I know going into this halftime that Paul Evans is going to be really on his ball club about mishandling the basketball. Those are unforced errors, and they're just throwing it away and not holding on to it.
Shot clock puck is off as we have only 28 seconds on the game clock, as you can see. Counting down. Eastern Michigan would certainly like to get 2 out of this, and they have the ball stolen. It's Matthews who comes away with it. And a foul in the backcourt, and that's going to be against Carl Thomas.
You see that kind of foul so often in the game that you see Carl Thomas go over to talk to Coach Braun. As a matter of fact, he's going out of the basketball game. He knew that he shouldn't have been trying to take the ball to the basket. He lost it, tried to make up for it, got a little overzealous, and fouled Jason Matthews, who's on the line for 1-1.
Had a good look at Susie, who checks in with 16 ticks on the clock. As Matthews misses the front end of the 1-1. Down with the rebound, Hugh Smith. And now Eastern gets, well, they dodged a bullet right there. A real reprieve as we're down to 7, down to 6. Right to the head. And Smith has it partially blocked, and a foul is going to be called in the lane.
But the play was made by Lorenzo Neely, who did a good job. I knew he was going to take it to the basket. You can kind of see it in his eye from where we are. But he did a good job penetrating to the basket. It got help from one of the Pittsburgh players, and then he passed it off to Hugh Smith, who caused Charles Smith to get a foul.
And very wisely, you see the substitute come into the ball game. Charles Smith will go and sit down. So he won't pick up his 3rd foul.
I tell you, you got to admire the play of Eastern Michigan. They've come out here, they've played pretty hard. And we got a hold up here. What apparently happened is I noticed that there was a tick that went off the clock, and the clock shows 2, and it was 3.
That's right. We said 3 seconds just a moment ago.
Right. And they've got it set again. But I think Eastern Michigan has shown extremely well here in the first half, and it's a matter if they go back in the second half, get a chance to get their breath, go over some little things, and come back out and play hard.
Hugh Smith rattles that second one down. 3 seconds, down to 2, and they're going to head to the locker room with our score, 3 points difference. Pittsburgh heavily favored in this one. And what do you think Coach Evans is going to say at halftime to his ball club, and as close as this one has been?
Well, as I said earlier, I think one of his complaints has got to be the mishandling of the basketball, and that's lack of concentration. And in my mind, some of it is rust, some of it is just an oversight on the Pittsburgh's part. On the other half, I think Eastern Michigan has done what they wanted to do. They pushed the ball up, played very well defensively, and just been aggressive and gotten the job done.
That's the end of the first half with our score. Pittsburgh 52 and Eastern Michigan 49. We'll be back after this message and a word from your local station. This is an NCAA production telecast.
Some people believe that alcohol and drugs guarantee a good time. They think they're too smart to become dependent on drugs, or if they drink a little too much, it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter. If you use drugs and alcohol, you'll end up paying a high price, and not just in money. Ask yourself if the so-called fun is worth the loss of your self-respect, your health, your future, or your life.
This message furnished by the NCAA.
A radio station on the telephone. Dial it. 1976-6656. 1976 Mojo. The 24-hour Dallas radio station where you hear the hot new stars of 88 first. You can hear them now. Hits before they hit the radio. A daring attempt to rescue music from the blast.
All pilots to your fighters.
And now, a special announcement from Mr. Leonard Givens of Miller, Canfield, Paddock, and Stone, 2500 Comerica Building in downtown Detroit. Congratulations and good luck to the Eastern Michigan Hurons. Congratulations and good luck to the Eastern Michigan Hurons. Go Hurons, go.
Hi, this is George Cannon asking you to join me right here on WGPR, Channel 62, every Saturday at 12 o'clock noon for the Superstars of Wrestling. You will see such superstars as Ric Flair, the Road Warriors, Dusty Rhodes, Barry Windham, Mike Rotunda, Koloff, Garvin, Precious, many, many superstars of wrestling right here every Saturday, 12 o'clock noon on WGPR Channel 62.
Hello, John. John? I can't hear him. 2:49 our score at halftime. Pittsburgh leading Eastern Michigan. Ron Franklin along with Quinn Buckner back here in Lincoln, Nebraska. What's the biggest surprise to you in the first half? I mean, obviously Pittsburgh a giant favorite coming into this one, but Eastern Michigan not only has made it tough, they've led 3 different times in this first half.
Well, I think there's no question about it. Eastern Michigan feels they can play in this basketball game. They've done a tremendous job coming out, exerting some pressure. The surprising thing is that Grant Long really hadn't gotten in the basketball game, and that has to be a pleasing thought in the sense that Coach Braun knows that the rest of his team is coming to play and take up the slack. You have to think that being the player he is, he's going to come out and play better in the second half, though.
Susie is the man who has been red hot. He has hit, what, 5 of 9 as far as the three-point line, and although he's the one who has had to take up the slack.
Well, he's really done a good job in that, and coupled with that is the fact that when he's taking up this slack, that they got Jerome Lane chasing him around there, and Jerome has got to get tired. It means he stays away from getting rebounds and may cause him some problems down the stretch, maybe in fouls and things of that nature.
When we talked off the top of the telecast about this fine front line for Pittsburgh, and although they're not really what you would consider a running basketball team, it is a thing of beauty when the ball comes off and those 3 big guys split the court. They run so very well.
Well, they really do, and they end up with Demetrius Gore in the middle, and all of a sudden you look up and you got on one side Jerome Lang, who's 6'9", about 250, and you got a 7-footer coming out on the other side. You know, Charles Smith can handle the basketball. He runs. I really like their front court. I think they do a great job, and I think as, you know, Sean Miller starts to play well, I think that will enhance their chances in this game.
So just as we said off the top of this one, we knew it was going to be a good opening round contest in Lincoln, Nebraska, and it has been just that in the first 20 minutes of play. As Eastern Michigan and Pittsburgh, there you see it, 52-49. We'll return with more halftime activities after these messages. This is an NCAA Productions telecast.
A radio station on the telephone. Dial it 1976-6656, 1976-MOJO. The 24-hour dial-it radio station where you hear the hot new stars of 88 first. You can hear them now. Hits before they hit the radio. A daring attempt to rescue music from the blast.
All pilots to your fighters.
Clothes make the man. And the ultimate men's store is the Broadway. The Broadway.
The exciting European look of spring and summer. Now at the Broadway, the ultimate men's store.
The Broadway.
Hello, I'm Shawn Robinson. This Sunday on Strictly Speaking, we will talk with concerned relatives of those buried in Gethsemane Cemetery. They say they are very concerned about the airport expansion, and they will tell us what they plan to do to fight it. That's this Sunday at 12 noon. Watch us.
In this 50th year, the NCAA has commissioned a one-of-a-kind real-life movie. It is called Final Four the Movie. There's action footage dating back to 1939. And the story is told by people who made basketball history.
Score tied, just seconds left in overtime. Jump ball controlled by the Utes. Over it goes to Arnie. Back to Herb Wilkinson. Long one. He's got it. North Carolina leads by 4. Pass goes to Elson into Leneski. Leneski looking for Chamberlain. Gets it into the big man. He turns. Moves into the center. Shoots. Scores. Chamberlain shot good. 52-51. Robertson on the move. Down the right side. To the corner. Stop. Up for a jumper. True for 2. 12 seconds to go. Loyola moves the ball toward the basket. Feed is off to Harkness. Harkness at the baseline. Shot. No, it's a pass to Hunter. Hunter's shot is up. It's no good. Rouse hits it in. Loyola wins at the buzzer. Loyola wins. Cinderella Loyola in the Final Four for the first time. They've done it.
Anytime Larry Bird touches it, there are about 3 people in his area.
Bird. Johnson. 3-on-1. Here it comes. The alley-oop to Greg Kelser.
see the time. Wittenberg, oh, it's a long ways. They won it! On the dunk!
You look at the dictionary, look it up. It'll say NCAA tournament.
It's the single most exciting event in American sport.
It's a terrific movie. All the great moments and players are here. What a treat for sports fans.
Order your copy of Final Four, the movie, today for $39.99 and save $10 off the retail price. Use your Visa or MasterCard and call 1-800-292-NCAA. That's 1-800-292-NCAA. Or send a check or money order for $39.99 to Final Four, the movie. P.O. Box 3395, Champaign, Illinois, 61821.
We're in Lincoln, Nebraska at halftime. Pittsburgh 52-49 over Eastern Michigan. And we'll be right back with more halftime activities after these words from your local station.
City Slicker, City Slicker, City Slicker shoes, City Slicker shoes. They're not like all the rest. They're step above the best. City Slicker, City Slicker.
The new shapes, designs, and Detroit's largest selection of exotic skin shoes, featuring More of Italy, are exclusively at City Slicker Shoes, downtown Detroit, and at Jack's Place, Northland.
City Slicker shoes, City Slicker shoes.
A radio station on the telephone. Dial it 1976-6656. 1976 Mojo. The 24-hour Dallas radio station where you hear the hot new stars of 88 first. You can hear them now. Hits before they hit the radio. A daring attempt to rescue music from the blahs.
All pilots to your fighters.
Not enough to look me, I'll kiss his feet in the rain. I'm the king of the world.
You may be seeing track history right here and now.
He's going to run the first 4-minute mile.
It looks like he made it unofficially. A lot of speed in that track. Look out! Look at him go! Oh, baby, what a terrible fall.
I'm Jim McKay. I was fortunate enough to be there for some of the greatest moments in sports history. And now you can relive them with this special collector's edition. ABC's Wide World of Sports, the first 25 years. We span the globe to bring you the constant variety of sport, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, the human drama of athletic competition. It all unfolds here in more than 500 dramatic photos of sport's most celebrated moments.
Wide World of Sports, the first 25 years is just $6.95. Call 1-800-438-1700.
And relive the greatest sports moments of your life and mine.
We're in Lincoln, Nebraska. There you see it, halftime, Pittsburgh 52 and Eastern Michigan 49. Very pleased to say that Neil Stoner of the NCAA Men's Basketball Committee has been nice enough to join us. Hey, great first half.
Great first half, Ron. Eastern Michigan's for real, playing with a lot of confidence.
Let me ask you something. The insignia is on these microphones, and everywhere we look around, it's got the Big 50. This is a very special year as far as the NCAA and the Final Four competition.
Special year, Ron. The establishment of the Final Four Foundation to honor the 50th anniversary of the NCAA tournament, and we're very excited at all the first-round sites. There will be balloting to pick the outstanding 5 guys who played in the Final Four, and I know the honorees are excited. We're going to honor them in the Final Four in Kansas City, and we just hope people will take the time to vote. And of course, as you know, it's also in USA Today on the back of the newspaper, and so it is very important, and we're thrilled about it.
Let me get you to comment real quickly. You guys have started more arguments than anybody in the last 2 decades. I've heard more people squabbling about who you're going to pick for the best of the Final Four. That's nearly impossible.
Well, it really is. It's very tough because the modern-day players, as you know, jump a little higher, a little faster, but pretty hard to forget the Oscar Robinsons, the Jerry West, the Bill Russells, and it's exciting. I just think it's tough to go through that list and pick 5 guys, but I think the public will do it, and we're all looking forward to it.
Great idea. Thanks for coming by and visiting with us. I hope the second half is as close as the first.
I'm sure it will be, Ron.
Okay, Neil Stoner of the NCAA Men's Basketball Committee. There you see the halftime score, 52-49. The Panthers on top. And we'll be back for the second half of today's game. That is coming up right after this.
Leonard Hamilton
new basketball coach at Oklahoma State University.
I haven't always been a head coach. For 15 years, I was an assistant coach. 12 years at the University of Kentucky.
You need to go, you going back to the strong side with the ball, you should be coming straight down there and get there.
I was very fortunate that the head coaches gave me an opportunity to be involved and have input in every phase of the basketball program. And that valuable experience prepared me to become a head coach.
The thing I like most about being an assistant coach is the fact that over the years you get a chance to visit with the players that you coached in the past. You develop a very long-lasting relationship with your former players. I'm involved in game preparation and day-by-day practice scheduling. I'm involved in our players' academic program.
Good job, good job. I give my assistants an opportunity to become involved. I know they will be prepared to be a head coach.
This message furnished by the NCAA.
It's the 50th NCAA Basketball Championship. Brought to you in part by Rawlings Sporting Goods, maker of the official ball of the NCAA Basketball Championships, and by Pizza Hut, home of America's favorite pan pizza.
And the Panthers, and that tells the story right there as far as this first half is concerned. Eastern Michigan went only 47%, but in three-point plays, therein lies the great difference, does it not, as far as why this one's so close at halftime?
Well, I don't think there's any question about it. You know, they're shooting 47% from out there, and when you're doing that from three-point range, you know, you got to shoot 65-70% as the Panthers are doing. But what's really hurt, I think, Pittsburgh, is that they've turned the ball over. A lot of that is lack of concentration. And you can interpret that to be that they somewhat overlooked the play of Eastern Michigan here in the first half. I'm sure that going in at halftime, Coach Evans says, all right, guys, let's settle down. You see, this club can play, and if we're not careful, we're going to get beat. As you see right there, Lorenzo Neely has 16 points. Brad Sorsey has 17, and I would say at least 12 of his points come from three-pointers. And Long has 4, and he's got 3 fouls. I mean, that's something that I think that has to be of some concern to Brad Baum and the Hurons there. But by the same token, when a great player is not scoring, he comes back out. He's a little more aggressive. And you see on the Pittsburgh side, Charles Smith has got 16 points. Jerome Lane has 13. Jason Matthews coming in off the bench and giving them 8. Gore has 4, Martin 2, and Porter 2. Eastern Michigan has to come back out, play with the same kind of intensity they played with the first half. Stay aggressive, do it in the front court. On the other side of the court, Pittsburgh just has to get into the basketball game. They have bigger people. They may have, in some respects, better skilled people in the front line. In the back court, I think you'd have to give the edge to Eastern Michigan right now.
Well, not to be redundant, but to mention what we did somewhat off the top of the telecast, as you see the Huron cheerleaders who have come down here from Ypsilanti, Michigan, is that Paul Evans said, I have been in this situation before. And he said, we will not take Eastern Michigan lightly. Now, in the first half, you alluded to just a moment ago in looking at the numbers there by Pittsburgh, that may be a lack of concentration. But I have a feeling after the talk that the Panthers got at halftime that maybe that might be over that. Anderson comes down with a rebound.
Well, they'll come out with more of a sense of purpose, I'm sure of that.
Inside, turnaround, Long can't get it to go, but he's fouled, and Charles Smith is the man that they're pointing at.
And if it is, that's 3 fouls on him. But Grand Long, you see right away, Eastern Michigan comes out, gets the ball right to their #1 scorer, and let him attack Charles Smith, get him exposed to some fouls, and now he has to be fouled.
We were just talking about Coach Evans and what he might have said at halftime, and I think that picture just now that we got of him expresses pretty well his feeling about the way his ball club opened up the second half. As Long knocks it down, he's perfect from the line today. Grant Long is 3 of 3. How many times have you seen it? You can see that average that he has on the season. Misses the second one. You hold a good score down for a half, Quinn, and then all of a sudden they come roaring back in that second 20 minutes of play. Miller, one pass too many, and it's stolen. Long, all the way to the hoop, and he misses the finger roll. Tipped away. Henderson battles for it, and that's going to stay with Eastern.
Well, there was some aggressive play, and officials let him play. And Paul Evans is doing a good job. He's taking Sean Miller out because I think Sean made some poor decisions. You see right there, Sean Miller went up, and Jerome Lane went looking for the ball. As you see Grant Long take it down. Now, this is a 6'9" guy, mind you, and he gets it up there. Couldn't quite get it in, and that's a great effort by Henderson. And they end up with the basketball.
Lorenzo Neely and Chambers in the backcourt. Neely with a great first half, 16 points.
I got to help me.
Chambers gets down there in the corner, and that could be a tough situation when they trap. Foul is going to be called, and Gore. A couple of scores from the East. Georgia Tech in a final. Iowa State had been leading that ball game at halftime, and the Yellow Jackets came roaring back in that one. Arkansas and Villanova. So Villanova knocks off the Hogs. Both of those final scores. Ours were in the first minute of play of the second half, 52-50. Pittsburgh leading.
Pittsburgh is coming in on the out-of-bounds play. They're in a 1-2-2 or a 3-2, trying to keep the ball out on the outside of the court as opposed to letting you get it into Grant Long and expose anybody else to foul. So they do this typically after foul shots anyway.
You watch, they'll try to break Long over the middle, and either Smith or Lane will come up and bump him inside, and just what we were talking about, they moved him toward the baseline. And for Long, it's 7 points of the afternoon.
But that was just a great pass inside by Lorenzo Neely. You see the athletic ability of Demetrius Gore to go in there and get that basket.
6 points for him. As Henderson had fallen down, you can see him just go flat on the floor. High arcing jumper, not there, rebounded by Lane. And here come the Panthers
Great
running.
pass.
Great pass. Back to him, and Gore will score his 8 point.
As the ball was in the air and Darrell Porter realized he was not going to have an opportunity to get it in the basket, he started looking for people. And Demetrius Gore did a great job getting down on that end, ended up with the basket. But the tremendous pass by Darrell Porter.
Not the move of a freshman, you would say. 3-point attempt, he is fouled. And Gore, who we were just talking about, has just picked up his 3rd foul.
Jerome, right here, you see Darrell Porter look right there and a bounce pass, which shows you the kind of control he had to make. I'm telling you, that is some kind of pass.
Because of the positioning of the Eastern Michigan players, he could not have just thrown it haphazardly back into play. He had to get a bounce pass, as Quinn Butler said. And he, just like a 30-foot putt, he just knocked the bottom out of it. That's a capital A in the assist column. Outside jumper won't go, and again Porter, the man we've just been talking about, comes down with the basketball all the way down. Lane misses, and it's 5 times this afternoon that the Panthers have had layups, and they have missed them. Inside move, Smith,
great block, and he knocked it off of Lorenzo Neely. Great block. I didn't mean to interrupt him, but right here, you see Neely do a good job. He goes under, and you see Charles Smith come over and get it, and he knocks it right out on Lorenzo Neely. Great job.
Gore misses the shot. He's bumped inside by Chambers.
And what looks like has happened here in the second half is Paul Evans said, okay, if we're going to run the ball up the court, we got some big people who can get out and cause you problems on the other end. Demetrius Gore in the second half is doing a better job getting down on the offensive end of the court and presenting problems for Eastern Michigan.
Gore, who's not yet in double figures, he averages 12.6. Gets his 9th point. 77% free throw shooter. In fact, that's his first trip to the line. 5-point lead. Knocks them both down, so he is now in double figures. 10 points for him, and the ball almost stolen to the backcourt. Chambers tries to screen for Neely. Susie.
if you notice, they've taken Jerome Lane off the seat, and now they have Demetrius Gore on. As you see, Isaac Henderson go to the basket there. But that's a good move by Coach Evans, because he knows that if Jerome Lane is tired of guard Houston, that he's just going to tire Jerome out.
Gore strong to the hoop, not there. Lane with the rebound, and he's got the foul. Back to a 6-point ball game, which equals the largest lead by Pitt this afternoon. Henderson strong to the hoop, and he knocks it down. 6 for him.
And the reason I said good job is because he took it to the basket.
From Lincoln, Nebraska, Ron Franklin along with Quinn Buckner. 16:06 left to play in the ball game. A 4-point game. Pittsburgh on top as Eastern Michigan has just been really, really tough. Porter with a jumper. That's 4 for him this afternoon. 3-point ball game at halftime. 52-49. Eastern Michigan had just not melted under the pressure. The biggest thing for them is the man who had the ball just a moment ago, Long inside, who's being worked against by Lane. Was held to 4 first half points, blocked inside, and that's going to be goaltending.
Yeah, it is, but that's going to also help a little bit of the psych for Grant Lane. See, right here, the first mistake is he gets it. You see Charles Smith go, and there's no question that that's goaltending. He stops the ball at the peak on its way down. That is offensive goaltending. Sorry, that's goaltending.
9 points for Grant Long, the man we were just talking about, so he has already equaled and in fact bettered what he did in the first half. But Gore knocks that one down from deep in that left corner. And again, a 6-point ball game. Down the shot on top to Neely. Neely with 16 first half points. Thomas got held inside. That's going to be on the floor. I think that was before the shot. I'll tell you that. Is it Lane? I think you just grabs him as he goes by.
Well, he does. I think Henderson does a good job of taking it to the basket, but they have a pretty interesting scenario coming up here because they got Charles Smith trying to guard Isaac Henderson, and Henderson is just too quick for Smith. They got Jerome Lane down there guarding Grant Long, so Pittsburgh puts themselves in, I think, a tenuous position because they can get in foul trouble trying to guard these two young men. Good pass.
Stay with Eastern. Paul Evans is up, and he's not happy with the way things are going. You can see the scowl on his face. 64-58. The count right now, 15:01 left to play in the ball game, and right now there is a timeout on the court with our score: Pittsburgh 64 and Eastern Michigan 58.
At Pizza Hut, we make it fast.
We have time for lunch?
We make it hot.
It's gonna be hot, right?
And we make it great. Great.
Making it fast, making it hot, giving it everything we've got. Making your style, give me a smile. Slicing and spicing, cheese and pleasing.
At Pizza Hut, we go all out to make it fast, hot, and delicious.
Making it happen, making your day. Pizza Hut, making it great.
Does car shopping confuse you? If you've shopped, and I have, you'll find the one place where the confusion ends is your Buick dealer. That's why I just bought a brand new Buick Regal. Regal is actually priced under T-Bird and Cougar. The new Regal just looks like it costs thousands more. So don't get confused. Shop where you like, but start at your Buick dealer. The car is Regal, but the price sure isn't.
The great American love belongs to Buick.
6-point ball game. Pittsburgh leading this one just over 15 minutes to play. At halftime, 52-49 with Pittsburgh on top. Eastern Michigan led by as many as 4 in the first half. On of the things their head coach said yesterday is we have to do a good job with the basketball. Thomas, nice pass to Henderson along the baseline, and he's got it. And you're right, Smith's having trouble with him.
Well, he not only is having trouble, but he's got 3 fouls, and he can't afford to get up there and get a dumb foul, because if he does that, you know, that obviously puts Pittsburgh in a very difficult position.
Gore with the jumper, he swishes it. All of a sudden, he has come alive. That's 10 points for him in the second half.
You took the words out of my mouth. He's really starting to take over here because they're not getting the scoring they normally get from either Smith or Lane this half.
Inside, foul is going to be called. Boy, they are really collapsing, trying to make sure that Long doesn't get a hot streak started, which he's very capable of doing, averaging about 24 points a ball game.
Well, this foul hurts them a little bit. Oh, they call a foul on Jerome Lane?
Jerome Lane, his third. Now, let's go back to what we said just a moment ago. Not to totally wrap Charles Smith and say, when I said he's really having problems with him, he was very smart by Eastern to play it that way and start working the baseline even more.
Yes, and they don't have much choice because things have turned out that Sorcy got hot early. Then they had to make a decision there what to do to guard him with. They had to find somebody for Jerome Lane to guard. He's guarding Grant Long, so they had to find somebody for Smith to guard. But Smith has ended up with a guy that's much quicker than him, and they got a 5-second violation, and I'm sure that's not going to bode very well with Coach Evans.
Cool. Coach Evans is up and looking to the far end of the floor, knowing that his ball club can have their lead cut to either 2 or 4 points on this trip right here.
And he rushes Sean Miller back into the basketball game because Pat Cavanaugh was a young man who didn't get the ball in bounds, and that's just a cardinal sin. But I tell you what, it's not as easy to get the ball in bounds as most people think it is. You know, it's the one right there, as you see the turnover, Pittsburgh has 13 and Eastern Michigan has 12. And the reason that it's not as easy is that's the one play you rarely practice. It's taking the ball out of bounds because most people just let you do it.
Nice pass inside, and Long gets it to go. Now look out. That's 13 points for him. He has 9 in the second half. Full court pressure by Eastern. They'll back off as soon as it comes across the timeline. Matthews makes a catch like Coffin Corner, and the crowd wanted walking because he moved that clamp for just a little bit.
Are you implying that he walked and you didn't call it, or what?
But they were just little steps. 2-point game.
Little tiny steps.
Charlie Smith, who better to go to, backs it into the hoop. That youngster is really impressive. We watched him at practice yesterday. Quinn Buckner, who's been around basketball for a while, the layup is missed. That's Lade who comes down with it. He's talked about the fact that the big fella can run so very, very well.
Let's go.
Matthews, and you know, I'm not so sure if Henderson had left it alone. If that shot would have gone, they're going to call basket interference.
Yeah, I don't think it was going to go, but I think what really happened is they got away with a foul there also. As you see right there, Sean Miller makes a great bounce pass, and Chambers does a good job of getting there, and there's no question it hit the backboard first, and Isaac Henderson knocked it off. But Chambers did a good job stopping the momentum of Porter of getting to the basket, so that's why he had trouble getting that one in.
Susie, 17 points for him. He has not scored in the second half, and we have played over 7 minutes of the second half. You know, you didn't get a chance to comment earlier when I asked you. Do you think the officials let you play, or do you think they call it closer in NCAA play?
No, I think they let you play, and I think they should let you play. You get here, you have worked hard to get here, and an official should not decide a basketball game anywhere, particularly if you're going for a championship. So they let you play.
Brian Nolan with the jumper, 70-66. Smith pulls up, can't get it to go, and it's Lorenzo Neely for Eastern Michigan who comes down with the ball. Well, those little guards are so confident. They just go into the mountains, and it doesn't matter. Now he's going to take it along the baseline. Oh, and it won't go. Schmidt comes down with the rebound, and a silly foul on Brian Nolan. There's no way he could have gotten the basketball, and that's going to be 4 on him.
That is absolutely just a bad foul. I mean, I think he was a little bit frustrated that Lorenzo Neely didn't get the ball in the basket and tried to help him. Now, you see Lorenzo Neely, what he'll do is look away, and that froze Charles Smith, and that's why he didn't get up. Lorenzo Neely looked away like he was going to pass the ball. Charles Smith stayed on the ground, and then he threw it on the glass, and he just missed it. And I think Brian Nolan fouled somewhat of a frustrated mind thinking.
I guarantee you, Charles Smith is standing there thinking, no, little guy, I won't even waste the energy of dipping my knees because I know you're not going to shoot.
Well, that's what he did. He really got caught by an element of surprise.
Long down court, they got a 2-on-1 break, and the foul.
It's on Darren Goheen.
Goheen picks up the foul. First one on him, and Porter will go to the line. Porter with 4 points. 57% free throw shooter. Averages just over 4 per ball game.
He just got in the lineup in the last, month or so. And the reason that he got in the lineup was, as I mentioned earlier, Jason Matthews wasn't shooting the ball well, and he was starting. But Darrell Porter gives him so much other things. He can run, he can get out and cause some things to happen defensively. And so that's the reason he's playing. And he's been playing pretty well tonight, as I think he has the last month or so of the season.
Porter misses the second 5-point ball game. We have just gone under 12 minutes to play in this one. Arena just about full here in Lincoln, Nebraska. First game of the afternoon. Vanderbilt will be coming on in that second game as Utah State. Into the middle. Shot is partially blocked, and I think Matthews is the man that's going to whistle for the foul. If that's the case, it's going to be 3 on him. Yep, that's 3 on him. Miller has 3. Charles Smith with 3. Gore with 3. And Lane with 3.
That quickness exposes you to fouls. And I want to tell you, Eastern Michigan has got a team full of quick players. And they're not all small, because as we talked about, Isaac Henderson is pretty quick. And Grant Long, for his size, has good quickness.
That was Neely you were watching, who was just coming in. We had 16 first-half points, which is well above his average, but he has not scored in the second half. Goheen, three-pointer, in and out, and it won't stay. Unlucky bounce on that one. Goheen falls down as he was trying to pick up a wing inside. Smith, well, he just drops that shoulder and hits it.
Well, Eastern Michigan doesn't have anybody that can block the shot once he drops his shoulder. He can do that and still get up, and his arms will go over everybody else.
7-point lead and a timeout by Eastern Michigan. As Ben Braun looks over his ball club, and you have to wonder, in fact, we're going to talk about it when we come back, if maybe fatigue might be a little bit of a factor right now. Timeout on the court with our scores. 73-66, Panthers on top.
Travel through the history of the NCAA Final Four with your own copy of the new 240-page Final Four book. Filled with spectacular photographs, it celebrates the 50th anniversary of this much-loved event. To order your copy, send $39.95 plus $2 shipping and handling to Final Four Book, Host Communications, Sports Division, P.O. Box 1988A, Lexington, Kentucky, 40593-1988. This message furnished by the NCAA.
Where is the future of America shopping for Easter? Zoom! Where can you get boys' designer suits in sizes 4 through 20, including slims, stouts, and huskies, as low as $69.90? Zoom! Where can you get 100% silk shirts by St. Peel? Zoom! Look great in the fashions of the future. Go to Zoom at Northland and the Zoom departments at Man O' Man in Northland and Central Park in Fairlane. Zoom. It's where the future of America shops for Easter.
Think country music and you'll think of Lucille's, one of the hottest country and western saloons around. Lucille's has it all, from daily lunches and beer and drink specials to a large dance floor perfect for kicking up your heels to live entertainment, featuring a top country and western band. And don't forget Ladies' Night every Wednesday. So don't be shy. Come join the fun at Lucille's on Michigan Avenue, 1 mile west of I-275. Call 397-1988. The fun is waiting for you at Lucille's.
Franklin and Quinn Buckner back in Lincoln, Nebraska. That tells a pretty good story right there, because there was a lot of basketball left to be played with 11:06 on the clock, and you can see the foul problem. Nolan, the only one with 4 for either club.
Well, I think that it's obvious by the fact that the trio from Pittsburgh is in trouble, foul trouble, that they are really running a real risk here and playing a lot of man-to-man, because Grant will get them in foul trouble by the things that he does.
Goheen was looking for the pass, and that's going to be turnover Eastern Michigan.
And he's going to come out of the basketball game. He's just had a tough day today. He hadn't been able to get the ball to where people he wants to get it to. He's had a couple of 3 turnovers, and Braun is doing the thing that you just have to do with him. He's having a tough time. You just have to get him out of the basketball game. And you can see it on his face.
Yep. They trap in the inbounds pass. Porter tipped right here in front of us, and Smith comes down with it. Goes back into the middle. Miller with a bounce pass. Lane has got the AC2.
You know, you talked about it earlier. Prior to the timeout, not this one, but the one before, the one thing that I thought that was starting to happen is I think Eastern Michigan is starting to get a little bit tired now. They played in the first half on emotion, and that does not happen necessarily in the second half. I just think the superior strength of Pittsburgh is starting to take over.
Chambers on the outside. Neely back to Susie. 6th three-pointer of the afternoon for Susie. And that gives him 20 points on the day. And just like that, it's back to a 6-point ball game. Pittsburgh does a great job of spreading the court and getting it down the court nicely. Smith and the turnaround hits it, and he's fouled.
Well, they fouled. Grant Long fouled, and that's 4 on him, so that puts him in tough position. You see right here, Charles Smith does a good job of getting position for the basketball. Keeps the man on his back, just turns to the basket, makes a good move underneath, goes up and makes the basket. Grant Long now has his 4th foul, and now Coach Braun has a decision to make. But that superior height of Charles Smith and his playing ability has just caused Eastern Michigan to get in foul trouble.
Long averages 23.2. He was held to 4 in the first half. He scored 9 in the second half, and I think we see Hugh Smith getting off the bench. He's going to come in and replace him as Smith converts that, completes the three-point play. 23 points for Charles Smith. 2 of 3 from the free throw line today, and Grant Long is going to have to go over and sit down with 10:04 to play in the ball game. And his club down 78-69.
Well, that really hurts his club because that's the inside threat they need for all of the defense to collapse in there, so Susie and all those guys can shoot the three-pointers.
Eastern Michigan working the perimeter. Three-pointer on the way. Carl Thomas has got it. 5 points for him. Again, 6-point ball game. Smith. The easy 2 on the double pump, and he's fouled inside.
You know, it's interesting that you said easy 2. Do you realize that young man is 6'10" and just double clutch that? You see Jerome Lane push the ball up.
Watch
what he does. Now watch this. This guy is 6'10", goes up, puts it away from the defense, controls it, gets the basket, and has got a 3-point opportunity as Jerome comes again, and he's coming right at you. Move the ball away, take the contact, get it on the glass with a touch.
Knocks it down, so he gets his 2nd straight 3-point play, and it's 26 points for Charles Smith.
Well, the game seems to be going in Pittsburgh's favor. They're starting to get away from Eastern Michigan because all of a sudden Pittsburgh has had a chance to figure out exactly how Eastern Michigan has played. You know, granted, both teams haven't played against each other, but, you know, playing in the Big East, you play games like this almost every night.
Susie. Good heavens, 23 points for him. And every time you think that maybe Pittsburgh is about to pull away from the Hurons, that simply hasn't been the case. And the turnover there, and it'll come back to Eastern Michigan.
They never say die. I mean, as we were looking, you look there at Coach Ben Braun. I mean, he's a fiery character. He's put that instilled that into his team. They're going to play until the game is over because they honestly feel they got a shot here. And I think Coach Evans is doing the right thing. You better unloosen your tie here for a second because I'm not sure which way this game is going to go. I thought it was going Pittsburgh's favor, but it's looking to change.
Henderson in the corner. You know, Little Neely said it as well as anything. We got to forget who we're playing and just play the best we can, and I think it'll take care of itself. Lane has just picked up the violation, and now that's 4. And now the chess match really begins because the benches have got some tough decisions. Long already on the bench.
Right there, Jerome Lane gets called for that foul, but that is just a bad foul. There's no chance for him to get the basketball. He's got the 3. Henderson kicks it out, and watch, he reaches around for it, and they call that foul 9 times out of 10.
So Long's going to come back in. Lane, it appears, will stay on the floor. He has 4 fouls, so we have to really...
Well, I think the decision is being made right now as to whether or not to take Jerome Lane out. And they're not. They're going to take Darrell Porter out, and they're bringing in Jason Matthews.
8 minutes and 48 seconds left to play, and now the movement, and the change will be made. Gore will come into the lineup, and Lane will have to come out. Lots and lots of basketball time left with 8:48 to play, and only a 6-point ball game. Thomas goes to the line. He's a 69% free throw shooter. First time at the free throw line today.
What?
6 points for Carl Thomas. 7 points, I beg your pardon. Misses on the second, but Susie comes down with the ball, and he's fouled inside.
They call a foul. Did they call it on goal?
I think Bobby Martin.
You know, Pittsburgh dodged the bullet there because I thought that Demetrius Moore had fouled him, but the official had his choice and chose Bobby Martin for the foul.
So Brad Susie, who averages 9 points a ball game, has 23. Misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Battle on the floor. Miller being surrounded, and he finally gets it out. 2-on-1 break, make it a 3-on-1 break. And on the jumper, not there, but it's Martin who comes down with the ball. And who's the foul on? Oh, for a moment, number 43, Grant Long, turned around and took a very deep breath. Underneath the hoop.
He did. He didn't want to get in foul trouble. Get fouled out of the game. He had a chance to get the offensive rebound here, and so concerned about that offensive foul that he stopped and didn't come up with the basketball. That enabled Pittsburgh to get it down here, and then Grant almost got himself in trouble for another foul.
Martin shoots at a pace of 71%. A freshman, 6'9", 218 pounds, out of Atlantic City, New Jersey. Cans them both. 4 points for him, and it's back to a 7-point ball for Pittsburgh. Well, usually when you hit this juncture right here, Quinn, that clock really starts to move. Three-pointer touches absolutely nothing. As Lorenzo Neely has been ice cold in the second half. 16 points in the first half, and he has 0 in the second half of play so far.
Well, what they've done is a good job of backing off of him so he can't penetrate around you, and it's tough for him to make that shot over the taller guard from Pittsburgh.
They trap on Martin, and he uses an elbow to get himself free. Smith with the jumper knocks it down for his 28th point of the afternoon.
Good body control by Charles Smith. Good pass by Sean Miller to set up Charles Smith.
Three-pointer on the way, and you can count it. Carl Thomas. .85-79. They trap on Gore this time, but he gets it safely away to Miller. Now I think you could look for Pittsburgh to start working the perimeter a little more to try to take some time off the clock. And just as I say it, Gore should have, because he's called for traveling.
Yeah, I think he was a little surprised to get the ball in there, and then he realized where the defensive player was at the same time and took a step, and he just traveled with the basketball. But Pitt is making, I think, a cardinal sin here. They're letting Eastern Michigan stay in the basketball game, and when you get in the tournament, all you want to do is be close going down the stretch, and that's exactly what's happening right here.
Well, what would you do? Would you try to take more time off the clock?
You know what? I got Charles Smith in there. I'm going to try to throw the ball into him. Eastern Michigan has not had anybody hammer him all day. And what Pittsburgh is doing is they got everybody trying to get it into their own type of play, and I think that's causing them some problems. They just have to throw it to Charles Smith, let him kick it back out if he doesn't have the shot, and move it around.
There's a good look at Charles Smith. Very, very personable young man. He walked up yesterday as Quinn and I were sitting at the table here at practice and said, "Hello, I'm Charles." Does not meet a stranger. Long gets a good roll on that one, knocks it down for his 14th point.
You know, he's had a tremendous career at Pittsburgh, and I think he's going to be a good pro. He's probably going to end up, because of how slight he is, being a small forward. But can you imagine a 6'10" small forward?
With the way he can run, though, that really is not going to be a problem. Long misses that second. 85-80. We're about to go under 7 minutes to play in this one. Schmidt, just what you said, trying to go to him. Henderson very quickly moved around to knock it away. Matthews, Smith, and back to Matthews. Ball away jumper, not there, almost down. Gore with the rebound. He misses it. Smith over the top as he goes down in a pile.
Great effort.
Eastern comes up with the basketball, and they're still unpiling at the far end. All the way to the hook. Counted it, he was fouled. Lorenzo Neely with his first 2 points of the second half, Quinn.
Lorenzo Neely is absolutely at home when you get into an open court situation like that. I mean, you got an opportunity to push the ball up, and you're watching it. I mean, watch how clever he is with the basketball. He shakes it up a little bit, goes in. Sean Miller wants to take the charge. He double clutches it, gets hits on the head, and he has a chance for a three-point play. And look at it. I mean, you can see the concentration in his face. This kid wants to take it. There's no way you're going to stop him from getting it in the basket.
Well, another 4 fouls goes on the board for a player as he misses. And that's the first time that he's missed from the line today. But Jason Matthews now with 4 fouls also. So he joins the club with Lane. Well, the Eastern fans want a traveling call there. Nolan has 4 fouls, as does Grant Long.
Good foul. Good foul. Good foul.
Inside battle for the boards.
Second shot opportunities. That's something they can't give up. They fought pretty hard in there, but Charles Smith got his hand on the basketball, got it back inside for him.
Well, with 16, and very quickly, Carl Thomas takes it right back to the other end. That's 12 points for him. Number of freshmen who have not conducted themselves that way this afternoon. Martin is fouled. Henderson will be whistled, and I believe that's number 4 on him.
Yeah, having 3 fouls, and as important as you see right there, Ike Henderson is to the team, you don't need to reach in and get a foul like that. But the play is made right here. You see Bobby Martin coming to the basket. There's no question. Ike Henderson slaps him on the arm, gets called for the foul.
Martin is perfect this afternoon, 2 of 2.
They expect Bobby Martin to take the place of Charles Smith when he's gone. This is good experience for him to be able to play right here in this kind of championship series.
Susie comes in, Thomas goes out, so they reload as far as 3-point shooters. And you know, 4-point ball game right now. I mean, particularly as close as this is. Eastern Michigan, with the capability that they have of hitting that 3-point play, Pittsburgh's not going to be out of the woods in this one until they either do something with the scoreboard or that horn sounds.
Yeah, I would say they won't be out of the woods with this one until the game is over, because there's no way. Eastern Michigan is just not going to fight. They've been fortunate in that Brand Long is just in the game. I mean, he doesn't have to score. He's been such a problem defensively for Pittsburgh that he makes it tough on everybody else on Pittsburgh.
Susie wanted desperately to get that 3-pointer. Back into Long. Now he has to come back out on top. Chambers fakes the spin move. They're going to call travel. I'd love to look at it, and I'll tell you what, Ben Braun is having a fit across the way, and don't blame me. He will move his plank foot.
I just disagree with the call. I mean, the official is allowed to make a call. I just disagree with it. Well, I don't know. He hopped. The pivot foot was good, but he hopped before the basket now. But I think he called it on the pivot, and the pivot foot never moved.
Inside, Martin, not there. Susie with the rebound. We're about to go under 5 minutes to play in the ball game. Bounce pass inside, and it's stolen by Smith. Here comes Gore, and it's 1-on-2. He'll hold it up, and he throws the ball away.
Tried to do too much with it, but I thought the plans had got knocked out of bounds by Lorenzo Neely, and Paul Evans is up trying to say the same thing. But the official had a tough angle because everybody was just trying to get back just to get into the play.
So Paul Evans going to call his ball club over, and they can talk it over with 4:46 left to play. Pittsburgh leading by 5. Timeout on the court.
Bird coming at you, morning people. We're up with the sun, moving and shaking. Breakfast is hot, and we are rolling. It's a good time.
Evening time with the night owl. Hey, night people, are you hanging out or stepping out? Hungry for dinner or ready to party?
I got a feeling this morning's gonna make your day.
Looks like it's gonna be a night to remember.
And now
a word from our sponsor.
It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's.
Mornings at 11 a.m. on TV 62. Come into the world of Essence. Join your host, Susan Taylor. Each week, Essence brings you into the world of your favorite celebrities, of television, movies, songs, fashions, and sports. It's Essence. Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on WGBR TV 62.
Hi, I'm Gerald McBride along with the Contempo Dancers, reminding you to join us for some hot music, hot videos, and some hot dancing right here on TV 62. We'll see you on Contempo.
It's Contempo, Motown's contemporary beat, Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. only on WGPR TV 62 Detroit.
Right there, but yet only a 5-point difference in this basketball game. You have to wonder how many of those are offensive by Pittsburgh as far as rebounds.
Well, you do, and I think they may only have, 6 or 8 of them that they've gotten back in. You see the field goal percentage, and Pittsburgh has made 4 more field goals, and they've had, I think they've taken about 8 more three-pointers, and they've made 2 or 3 of those, so that puts them in a pretty good position. They got the ball now, and they're only down 5 points with 4 minutes to go.
Anderson gets it out to Chambers, and here come the Hurons as they will try to run it up.
Good fake. Good ball fake.
Chambers misses the three-pointer. Rebound pulled on by Pittsburgh, and here's where I would be extremely surprised if Pittsburgh went right into their offense, if they didn't try to take 20, 25 seconds off the clock.
Well, I'm sure they've been told over at the timeout, all right, let's just take our time, get the best shot we can get, no need to hurry this thing. We're in a dogfight, there's no question about it. Eastern Michigan can play, so let's go out here and just be patient and do what we do best. And that's what they do best, right there.
Lob, and Smith's got it. 30 points for Charles Smith. 7-point ball game. Under 4 minutes now. Under 4 minutes to play in this opening game of the afternoon from Lincoln, Nebraska. Long foul as the shot is blocked by Smith.
Well, Grant Long got the ball down where he's very effective. Had it back to the basket, just made a little move. Got Charles Smith out of position. He's got his 4 fouls now. He's pleading his case, but it's not doing him much good. Officially not going to change the call.
Very few appeals are won when you're in that posture. Long looking for his 15th point of the afternoon. Mid-American Conference Player of the Year.
The other part of this, Grant Long happens to be the nephew of John Long, as well as the cousin of Michigan's Terry Mills. So he's had a lot of basketball in his family. He said he can beat Terry, but he can't beat John yet.
Very unselfish ball player. He has 15 today. He averages well over that. But whatever he can do, that's always been the case. Lane. And the shot is good. And I'll tell you what, as much as anything as I'd love to see in the replay is the smile that he came out of the lane with after he got hammered.
Yeah, Ben Brown can only shake his head. I mean, that is just tremendous strength. As you see Jerome Lane go up, get hammered, come down, throw the ball up, and he gives a little, he's pretty happy about that.
Look at that smile right there. Susie will come back in. Howard Chambers will come out.
I'd have to say that play almost exemplifies what I think is the confrontation here. That's just the overall strength that Pittsburgh has against Eastern Michigan.
Largest lead of the afternoon, 9 points, 94 to 85. And now that the clock really starts to move if you're a Huron fan. 3 minutes and 20 seconds to play.
See, they don't have, in my opinion, they don't have to be in a hurry. That kind of shot they don't need. They can be patient. With 3 minutes, that's a long time to get back in the basketball. All they have to do is be patient and play good defense.
You see Porter with his hand in the air because the instructions from the bench are to hold it up. Pass inside, knocked out of bounds. Thomas touched it last for Eastern Michigan. 31 seconds on the shot clock. 2 minutes and 58 seconds on the game clock. 9-point ball game. The Panthers won the regular season, and boy, did the screen ever work.
Darrell Porter did a good job of getting Demetrius go open, but they had enough time to look around and finally get him. And Ben Braun does the only thing he can really do. Try to stifle this thing because it's definitely getting away with it with 2 minutes and 47 seconds to go.
For the first time this afternoon, it's a double-figure lead by the Panthers. Timeout on the floor. 96-85 Pitt.
The following announcement is for honorably discharged U.S. veterans age 18 to 59. The toll-free number shown on your screen is used to respond to the following. Do not, repeat, do not miss this important information exclusively for veterans. Veterans of all branches of service and spouses of qualified veterans stand by for complete details.
Already over 2 million veterans have called to find out how this card can serve them exclusively. Hi, I'm Roger Staubach. If you're a veteran age 18 to 59 or the spouse or widow of a vet, write down this toll-free number, because one quick phone call can bring you all the facts about a plan that offers you a choice of 10, 20, up to $50,000 in term life benefits. $50,000 for under $10 a month. And since your spouse is also eligible, your total family protection can reach up to $100,000. All this at affordable veterans rates. In a matter of days, an information package will be sent directly to your home. In it, you'll find all you need to apply right away. In fact, you don't even have to take a medical exam. As a veteran, you owe it to yourself to get the facts about this exclusive offer. So call now.
Veterans age 18 to 59, call 1-800-523-7100. Call now and you will also receive an updated guide to veterans benefits. Call 1-800-523-7100. That number again is 1-800-523-7100.
Just under 3 minutes to play in this one. 96 points. Quinn Buckner, that equals the highest point output by the Panthers this season. 96, and it goes back to the season opener against Robert Morris.
Well, I think it is a good point, because when you get these kind of points, they're going to break 100 more than likely. That has to say a lot for Coach Evans. It tells him that his team can play an up-tempo basketball game, even though they would rather not. They play pretty well, and they've really dodged the bullet here.
Eastern Michigan held to 36 points in this half. Did you see the hook shot goes awry? Pittsburgh comes down with it, and again, they will not be in any great hurry to put this one into play. Stay outside to set the offense.
Great athletes allow Pittsburgh to do this. They got Demetrius Gore. You know, they can bring, he's going to give the ball up to Jerome Lane. They got their forwards out there handling the basketball.
And most teams can't do that, can
they? They just can't. And if they have to, they can bring Charles Smith to handle it.
Well, we watched him in practice yesterday, and we talked about how well he ran the floor. That's with or without the basketball. Inside, Smith fakes the pass, being held up, and a foul going to be called on Thomas. Well, they took that shot clock all the way down to 8.
But you saw what they did with the basketball when they got it down. There's no Charles Smith. There's nobody on Eastern Michigan that can handle it. So they throw the ball out there. And when you get in a situation like this, where right now under 2 minutes, the defense is spread out so far in the court that Charles Smith is in a one-on-one situation. That time he got some help from Carl Thomas, but Carl couldn't do anything but foul him. As you see, he's got 33 points, looking for his 34th.
Smith knocks it down. He's only missed one this afternoon.
And one.
12-point lead. And he misses. I believe that's his 31st point. We'll double check it. That's what I've got down here. He had 30 just prior to that the foul. 31 points is what we're going to say for Charles Smith. 12-point game. That one from 25 or 26. Miss, and in the battle of the return, Porter comes down with it. And now with 1 minute and 30 seconds left to play, it would appear that Eastern Michigan finally, as the foul is called on Susie. Eastern Michigan is finally in a position where I just don't think they can pull this one out. But boy, they have played and played and played. And every time Pittsburgh looked up and thought they were going to put some distance in here and do what they have done to so many opponents this year, just not able to do it.
Well, they had a tough time putting them away. Eastern Michigan played extremely hard. I think what has happened to them now, they're just out of gas. They haven't played against this kind of overall strength in a basketball game, I don't think, this year. And they may not, until they get to the tournament, do that again.
Porter with his 6th point. He's 2 of 3 from the line. It's kind of like Ben Braun said, we were talking about the size as far as these two teams in the matchups. And like you said, you know, like one big man away. And that's probably a good analogy.
That's a very good analogy. But, you know, you're looking at Pitt, and Pitt is one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the country. They got great talent, you know, and people that can get some things done. They got potentially 2 All-Americans on the same team, so they're not an easy team to play against.
Lorenzo Neely with his 20th point of the afternoon. 98-87, 11-point game. And foul will be called against Neely right here in front of us. You know, you can't really say as far as Coach Braun, and I'll bet you ask him, if you ask him after the ball game, if he would change his designs as far as game plan, he probably would tell you absolutely not, because the difference in the ball game, when we looked at those rebound stats just a moment ago, and the number of those that are offensive boards by Pittsburgh, therein lies a great stat in the difference in the ball game. Purely a difference, and that's physical. You can't do anything about that.
That is, yeah, just physical. That's just ability. You know, Pittsburgh, as we said earlier, they're just bigger, they're stronger, and they've been in this kind of situation many times.
The 100 mark is hit by Pittsburgh, and Eastern Michigan wants a timeout with 58 seconds left to play in this one. So there's a timeout on the floor with our score. Pittsburgh has jumped in front by 13, 100-87. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, inspirational music's most exciting and dynamic performer, Dino Kartsonakis. Yes, the artistry of Dino has thrilled audiences all over the world. And now, for the first time on television, a special anniversary tribute to the man and his music. Let Dino play for you Bridge Over Troubled Waters and the beautiful Somewhere. This album also features the immortal That's What Friends Are For. And when you order Dino's Songs of Inspiration, you will also receive Dino's Songs of Faith, featuring old classics like I'll Fly Away and How Great Thou Art. 27 songs of inspiration and faith on 2 records or 2 cassettes for just $14.95 plus $3 for postage and handling. Also available is Dino's Anniversary Concert Video Spectacular for just $19.95 plus $3 for postage and handling. Let Dino play for you. Here's how to order.
To avoid COD charges, send $14.95 for the albums or cassettes or $19.95 for the video to Dino, 3146 East Jefferson Avenue, Detroit, Michigan. Or call toll-free 1-800-682-2000. That's 1-800-682-2000.
13-point ball game with 58 seconds left. Eastern Michigan with the timeout. Goheen takes it all the way down the baseline, puts it back, and the short jumper is missed by Thomas. Fine play, and it worked just exactly the way looked like Coach Braun wanted it, but they missed the shot as Gore on the other end knocks down his 20th point of the afternoon. And consider this, the front line, 20, 20, and 31 points.
You know, they've given them everything you can ask for. They've come out and played hard and given all of the kind of support that they needed. Charles Smith, I think, has had an outstanding game. As you see, Goheen there, who just got the foul. I think Demetrius Gore came out in the second half and had a great start for him. And I think in the case of any basketball game, 2 of the very most important parts of the game are the first 5 minutes of the first half, first 5 minutes of the second half. I thought in the first half, it was evident that Eastern Michigan came out very much focused. I thought in the second half, Demetrius Gore and Pittsburgh came out very much focused on what they were trying to get accomplished today.
You know, this is going to be far and away a season high for Susie. That's 26 points for him. 8 for 16 on three-point attempts. But in checking back down here, Quinn, I believe 18 points was his high watermark for this season. 104-90 with 30 seconds left to play. Jumper not there, rebounded by Pitt, and here comes the fast break. This is a Lane slam dunk. 22 points. So Lane with 22, Demetrius Gore with 20, and Charles Smith with 31. And just like we said off the top of the telecast, this is just, well, now a little showtime, and he misses it. 4 seconds, down to 3, and he cans the jumper. Gore gets the 2 to go down. That's 22 points for him. But this front court is some kind of story. So we're going to take a break. A timeout on the floor with a Pittsburgh winning by 18 over Eastern Michigan.